Night. Was the speech accurate? I talked to Jon Greenberg. He's a writer for our partners at Politifact who did fact-checking in real time, super popular website, and they were on it. I asked, how do you do it, first of all, and what did they rule as the biggest whoppers and truths of the night? Jon, your website was so popular last night that it actually crashed in the middle of the president's speech. Everybody logging on to find out what's true and what's not.
Yeah, that was a freak out moment. It's the price you pay for being popular, I suppose.
And being trusted.
Yeah, and being trusted, yes, we like that too. We think the two go hand in hand. So, yeah, folks were scrambling. I think the outage was for about 10 minutes or so, but it was interesting that other people noticed it enough to report on it.
But I want to ask behind the scenes, when people are logging on, reading what is true, what is mostly true, or pants on fire, how big is the team doing this and how collaboratively do you work?
So what we do is, politicians are relatively predictable. If they've said something once, they're probably going to say it again.
True.
Even if we have corrected them, they'll probably repeat, well, at least Mr. Trump does, the same error. So we prep. We kind of know some of the things that he's going to talk about. We look at our past work, and so we're ready to roll, and we all pitch in and help each other out.
The president said, quote, "Just as I promised the American people from this podium 11 months ago, we enacted the biggest tax cuts and reforms in American history." You ruled that false.
Yeah, because if you just look at the numbers, and we like to let the numbers do the talking, it isn't accurate. Just based on the size of it, it ranks number 4. And if you look at the size of it relative to the size of the economy, GDP, which is pretty important, it ranks 7.
Trump says the visa lottery system, quote, "hands out green cards without any regard for skill, merit, or the safety of our people."
Yeah, so we rated that false because it makes it sound like the whole program is willy-nilly. There are some minimum standards. You have to have at least 12 years of education. You have to have worked in a job for a couple of years, and it can't be just sweeping floors. It's got to be a job that requires some sort of skills training. And then you've got to get through a pretty rigorous security clearance. So every point that he mentioned just isn't accurate.
We should say that some of the items that he listed there last night were rated true. For instance, that black unemployment is the lowest it's been in recent history. So you did do that. Want to correct one more thing that you found last night. Trump claims, quote, "the U.S. released ISIS leader al-Baghdadi." That was also rated false.
The story that has emerged, it is that al-Baghdadi was held at this massive detention camp. I think it was called Camp Bucca.
In Jordan? Where was it?
No, that would have been in Iraq.
Okay.
And so he was there, but he wasn't anybody. He was not the leader of anything. There was no particular reason to keep him, and so the review committee let him go. Later on, he becomes this dangerous dude, and all the rest of the bad news happens. But that's well later than his release. So it just isn't responsible to talk about, the U.S. just sort of let him go without thinking about what they were doing.
If you go to the Politifact website, they kept a huge running list the whole night. Many things true, some mostly true, some things false. You can check it out there.